Welcome. I am Ted the Ranger Irvin, and this is Gordon Mum. Welcome you to the action you can hear. Welcome to APF of Wrestling, episode 38. We promise you an action-packed episode or your money back. We have one more match for the prestigious #1 contender. The 10th spot is the hand-picked wrestler of Kevin Journey, which he will keep secret until next episode, where we will have that #1 contendership match. Two women are gonna be in the #1 contendership match for the prestigious championship against Kevin Journey. Sergeant Phoenix looks excited, saying she's gonna be the #1 contender for the prestigious championship, where she'll maybe meet Eric Jacobs, which she lost a couple episodes ago to. Saluting there as she gets into the ring. And Harper Lee getting out of the ring, maybe to get a table set up, to set up this matchup. Harper Lee, Sergeant Phoenix, a slam to Harper Lee from Sergeant Phoenix. And a clothesline to Harper Lee from Sergeant Phoenix. And attacking the knee. And a drop kick to Harper Lee. And working on that knee yet again. And Sergeant Phoenix getting out of the ring. And Harper Lee drop kicking her out of the ring as she was trying to get out. Probably looking for the table to put Harper Lee in. And a slap from Harper and a forearm to Sergeant Phoenix. And throwing her into the steps. And Harper Lee in control over Sergeant Phoenix. And a suplex on the outside. And a kicking to the midsection. And throwing her back down on the outside pad. And throwing her in the steps yet again. Harper Lee gets in the ring and comes back out of the ring. Next to the table, picks up the table and throws it back into the ring. Sergeant Phoenix in the ring now and attacking Harper Lee. And rolling over Harper onto the table. The table's not folded up. And drop kicking Harper Lee off the table. And a drop kick to Sergeant Phoenix. And Harper Lee picking up the table and setting it up. Harper Lee to set it. Barely almost putting Harper Lee into the table. Harper Lee picking up the table, smacking Sergeant Phoenix into the midsection. And Phoenix hitting up Hurricane Rana to Harper Lee. And the table set up in the corner. Sergeant Phoenix Irish whip Harper into the table, but she hit into the knee of Sergeant Phoenix. And Harper getting up slowly. Sergeant Phoenix trying to suplex to Harper Lee. And Sergeant Phoenix trying to figure out how to pick up the table. And a midsection kick to Sergeant Phoenix. And Sergeant Phoenix going into the table. And a drop kick into the table, but does not break the table. And Harper Lee picks up Phoenix. Irish whips her into the table yet again. And drop kicking her into the table. Harper Lee wanting to be in the #1 contendership match. And stomping on the forearm of Sergeant Phoenix. And lifting up Sergeant Phoenix. Irish whipping her yet again. And drop kicking. And Harper Lee is in the #1 contendership match for Kevin Journey's prestigious championship. What a victory! The 9th wonder in this matchup. And now Fifth Element will get some closure over the stolen nachos. APF executives have narrowed it down to 3 suspects: Gemini Aries, Miss Butterfly, or Felicia. Miss Butterfly has been noted in the past she would think it'd be funny to have a ransom note cut out like the note Fifth Element got for her nachos, saying Sergeant Phoenix is not your culprit. Fifth Element gonna beat some answers out of Gemini Aries. He's known to love nachos. Gemini Aries, the cosmos of the stars. Fifth element, ready to get this matchup underway. Here we go. Gemini Aries bulldogging fifth element into the mat. Gemini Aries forearm to fifth element. This matchup all about nachos. Fifth element now in control. Drop kick. Gemini Aries. Hurricane Rana to fifth element. And a leg drop. Fifth element getting up slowly. Spine buster to Aries. Out of nowhere from fifth element. Working on the neck of Gemini Aries. And a forearm. Knees to the midsection. And slamming Gemini into the mat. And a forearm to Gemini Aries. Fifth element getting trying to get some answers. Is Gemini Aries the one that ate the nachos? And a forearm to fifth element. Slamming down fifth element to the mat. Aries standing over. And choking fifth element. Perhaps breaking it up there. Fifth element going for a clothesline, but suplex from fifth element to Aries. And dragging Aries to the center of the ring. And going for the pinfall. And a kick out from Aries. And Gordon Mums has his money on Miss Butterfly on stealing the nachos. He keeps pointing out Miss Butterfly and fifth element working on Gemini Aries. And Aries throwing fifth element. And Aries going for the pinfall. And a kick out at 2. Never thought we'd have a match over nachos. And not just one, but a couple of matches over nachos. Irish whipping fifth element over the ropes. Forearm to Aries and fifth element back in the ring. And a forearm to Aries. Drop kicking. Aries on the mat. And fifth element screaming at Aries. And a forearm to Aries. And another spine buster to fifth element. And Aries dragging element and going for the pinfall. And a kick out. And a kick to the back of fifth element. Aries the runner-up in the prestigious tournament. Drop toe hold to Aries. And going for the pinfall. And a kick out by Aries. And a drop kick. Spine buster to Aries. Will we see the Lilu or the cosmic kick? Belt hold and going for the pinfall. And a kick out it. And a knee to the face of Gemini Aries as he gets up. And Aries drop kick on the outside of the ring. And a bulldog to Aries on the outside of the ring, and the ref is counting. And fifth element throwing Aries back in the ring. She wants to pin Gemini Aries, but still stands on the outside of the ring. Finally getting back in the ring. And a thrust press. And going for the pinfall. And a kick out it. And Mom correcting me. That's the multi-pass, as fifth element likes to call it. Belly to belly from Aries. Aries going for the pinfall. And a kick out at 2. The Lilu from fifth element going for the pinfall. And the fifth element gets some spicy revenge for the nachos. And bless you, Gordon Mum. But is Gemini Aries the real corporate? Or do we still have a nacho stealer out there? After last episode, Game Life have asked for a rematch against the Italian Connection after Giovanni Romano attacked Game Life with a chair. Even though Giovanni's excuse was that Dante Moretti was not himself and he was trying to stop the match. So Game Life issued another challenge to the Italian Connection, but this time in a steel cage. And the stipulation for this matchup is the first two wrestlers, as Game Life have pointed out, will be the tag team champions of APF. Main event from Studio 1615, Giovanni Romano, the Italian Connection, Dante Moretti, Game Life, and we are underway. Giovanni attacking Dan Applestone and now going after Normatron, and a neck breaker to Dan Applestone. So much going on, and Dan Applestone trying to climb the cage. And Giovanni Romano dragging him down. Dante Moretti getting Irish whipped from Normatron, running into an elbow. And the knee to the back of Giovanni Romano from Normatron. Boston Crab by Normatron. And Dan Applestone throwing Dante Moretti into the side of the cage. Lawn darting him. And now Giovanni Romano taking out Normatron. And the Italian Connection in control of this matchup. Neck breaker to Normatron from Giovanni. And looking to go up the cage, but Dan Applestone catches him and pulls him down. And going after Dante Moretti. And Normatron going after Giovanni Romano in a forearm to Romano. And Normatron going for a flapjack slam, and Dan Applestone trying to climb the cage. But Dante Moretti pulling him down and attacking Dante Moretti. And Normatron trying to climb the cage and slamming Normatron down goes Dante Moretti. And Dan Applestone trying to get up. Dante Moretti suplexing Dan Applestone. And Normatron slowly getting up after the assault from Giovanni Romano. And Giovanni Romano looking to climb the cage. And Normatron taking down Giovanni Romano. And Dan Applestone getting assaulted by Dante Moretti. But Dan Applestone suplexing Dante Moretti. And Normatron taking it to Giovanni Romano in the turnbuckle. Suplex. As well as Normatron can do a suplex. And going for trying to climb the cage, and Dante Moretti taking him down. And Dan Applestone going after Giovanni Romano. A back and forth switch off between these teams. And Dante Moretti taking Normatron to the cage, the side of the cage, and throwing his face into the cage. And Giovanni Romano taking Dante Moretti and throwing him in the cage. And Giovanni trying to climb the cage, but Normatron running and dragging him down. And Game Life both looking to climb the cage. Halfway up the cage, Game Life. Can both of them retain the championship? And Normatron over the top rope, but Dante Moretti dragging Dan Applestone. And the first wrestler is Normatron escaping this matchup. And Dante Moretti looking to climb the cage. So if Dante Moretti is the next one, will Normatron and Dante Moretti be the champions? And Dan Applestone trying to take and is suplexing Dante Moretti off the cage, and Giovanni Romano sneaking out of the cage. And Giovanni Romano and Normatron, the tag team champions. But Dan Applestone and Dante Moretti still just fighting this out for some odd reason. This is a wrestling fight. That was episode 38 from Studio 1615. And maybe next time, studio address might be 1725. My name is Ted the Ranger Irvin. Any last words, Gordon Mom? Good advice.